So they've already started. We just got here, Wellington, and there's a group that has walked in from the Hutt Valley, I think, and they're down here in the bottom of Wellington Key, and we're trying to make our way to Waitangi Park to join that group. So, yeah. So, we'll just carry on.
How's the legs feeling?
I'm actually a little bit tired.
Yeah.
I thought I was looking around the people in the jandals and the gumboots. I'm like, man, I'm fit in sneakers. I don't know how you're doing it.
Yeah.
Where'd they come from?
Petone.
Yeah.
That's the Hutt group.
Yeah.
Wow, right.
So I started at, I joined at 4:45.
They
People
come from
came along,
Petone.
yeah, from
Not
Port.
Upper Hutt. Oh no, they have come from the Hutt, but from Petone, the Hutt. And we ended up walking along the waterfront. Okay, slow. You can go past if you want.
Tēnā koutou, nau mai, haere mai, and welcome back to Mem's Journeys. For those of you who have been watching my channel, you'll know that I do view the world through a Maori lens. I mean, I'm very well educated in the Pākehā world, but I was brought up in the Maori world. So I have still keep hold of my Maori lens and my Maori world view when I do any of my videos or any of my travels. So I do road trips around my own country, and I always look at things through a Maori view. I do things at home involving my Maori community and my wider community, and I do things regarding my marae, but also I am involved in anything to do with pro-Māori activities. So now in this video, I don't have a drone and I don't have other camera people working for me. So I've only got my cameras that I use, and I'm the one that's operating them. So I can be holding one in my hand and wearing one on my head and, you know, talking at the same time, and it can get a little bit confusing, I think, with all the camera work and everything. So, but what I have tried to do is give you an inside view and what it takes to be on the HIKOI in the first place. You know, for everybody that went on the HIKOI, there's got to be a commitment made. A commitment of time, a commitment of energy, a commitment of belief in what you were going on the HIKOI for. Because I don't think anybody would go on the HIKOI if they didn't understand what it was about. And I've been on about 3 HIKOI. That means a lot to me. 1984, when I was just a young little chickie, I was on the 1984 HIKOI from Whangarei, and I was on one of the organising groups called Te Manaki from Whangarei. 2004 on the foreshore and seabed issue. That was huge. The 1984 was around about, on the HIKOI itself, was a few thousand, around about 3,000-4,000. The 2004 one, which was from the north, right down to Wellington, and from the South Island up, that was over 20,000. And then there's this one this year, 2024, where some estimates have said 42,000, but I've heard from other people that were actually on the HIKOI, and myself included, there seemed to be way more than that, way more. It was, some people have estimated around about 100,000. So, and you know, I think we were in the sort of the back part, but there was a huge group in front of us, and by the time we got to Parliament grounds, the the talks had already happened and people were starting to go home. So that's how long it was taking for the whole tail of the HIKOI to arrive at Parliament grounds. But the great thing, there are some really awesome things about this HIKOI. So the first one was the huge numbers involved. Just what I was saying, the huge numbers that were involved. The number of rangatahi and mokopuna involved. And the fact that it was the philosophy around this HIKOI was to have it as mokopuna led, rangatahi led, but Pākeke driven. So were some seasoned people that had been on previous HIKOIs in the background, helping with all the organisation. And the organisation of such a HIKOI on such a huge level was monumental, and the logistical challenge, and I must say they rose to the challenge. The other awesome thing was that there were quite a number of tangata tiriti, so Pākehā people who are descendants of the Crown and descendants of the others, our partner signatory to the treaty, and we call them tangata tiriti. Some of them were my colleagues that I used to work with, some are friends that I've known, and they were quite happy to be there and amongst all these Maoris and hold up their little signs and stand there for what they believed in. And that was really cool. It was cool to see them and have them with us. And actually all the way through all the HIKOI, there's always a group of tangata tiriti that have been there and that have been very supportive. And I remember in the the Springbok tour, there was a lot there too. Well, actually, it was probably more their protest, and then a lot of Maori joined that as well. So it just goes to show such a HIKOI goes to show the strength of belief of everybody in it on how wrong this policy of the Treaty Principles Bill is. I mean, let's face it, bigger brains had worked on the treaty principles, bigger brains than David Seymour's and bigger brains than anyone else's, and more than one person with amazing intellectual capability was able to work on the treaty principles. And then you can have one little person coming along because they're on the right wing of the political spectrum and they don't like it. And so it all gets put up for speculation. It's just outrageous. But anyway, Maori and tangata tiriti will always probably stand up for their rights and join into these HIKOIs. So how did I feel about being in the HIKOI? How do people feel? We felt uplifted. I've talked to Pākehā people and they're very proud that they were in the HIKOI. How do we show our protest? We show it through haka. Now, haka is not an entertainment dance for people. The haka is actually a wero. It's a challenge. It's a preparation for a challenge as well, let's say. The haka in the pre-European times was to stir men up to feel invincible and to go into battle, and women as well. So, yeah, that's my thing on the HIKOI. It was a fantastic experience. I'm so proud that I was able to go with my son and my brother and my nephew. And I remember going on the other HIKOI in 2004 with my mum, and that was fantastic as well. Just showing, not for a day out or anything, but to show how I feel about the current political situation. We also went to the activation. There was an activation day on the 18th at Ngāti Toa Domain, and that's where I painted up my sign, and I had to beg, borrow, or steal the paints and the paintbrushes because I didn't have my own. So that's how I managed to paint our one, and I was so glad to be able to be involved in that as well. So I take my hat off, I really do. I take my hat off to the people who organised our HIKOI. They're amazing. All the marae that supported the HIKOI, all the people down the island and up the South Island who accommodated the HIKOI and fed them and carried out the tikanga around looking after that HIKOI. I think it's amazing, and I think our people are amazing. When we come together and do something like that, I think we are just amazing, fantastic people. We're the most amazing people. When our people struggle so much in some situations, but when it comes to something like that, we join together, and that's kotahitanga. Okay, that's me for now. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and so take care. Kia kaha, kia maia, kia manawa nui.
Okay, slow. You can go past if you want. Slow. Good. Walk over the... We're just walking to Waitangi Park now. We didn't catch a bus. We'll catch up. I'm quite slow. I thought I was being fast, but I'm slow. Yeah. You could star in my... Do you want to star in my movie? What I mean?
Okay.
This is what I do. Stayed at his place for 2 nights. See? This is one section of people coming in, and there'll be other sections of the HIKOI that will meet up with the main body.
Stretch your legs out, that's the one.
He'll find us. I've got to hurry up, but this is. Can you hang on a minute? We'll just take a photo. Thank you. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, guys.